I'm Amy Pack at Homeschool in the Woods.
And I'm her daughter-in-law, Beth.
And we're here because we want to talk to you about celebrating the holidays with food. Now, it's one thing when you've got common holidays, but there's a lot of uncommon holidays that just ask for food. And there's not just days, but there's weeks and there's months. Like October, which is
National Pizza Day. Month.
I know. Actually, there is a National Pizza Day we're going to be talking about, too, within this month. But actually, we got a whole month to celebrate pizza, and it's a good thing because, man,
we love pizza.
I know. So, but that's the problem is we do love it. And there came a point where we're like, we've got to come up with a healthier way to eat because, I don't know, we've got so many
dietary restrictions
in our family. We've got gluten-free, sugar-free, soy-free,
gluten-free, dairy-free.
Dairy-free, and that's another one. And although this one does call for dairy, there's ways you can do it dairy-free. I'm going to share that with you. Yeah. But okay, so I have been on the quest for the longest time to find a cauliflower crust pizza that I liked. And the thing I don't like is that every one that I've tried, you need to use a fork and a knife or something to pick it up. You can't pick up a slice and have it hold your toppings and stuff. So after that, then I started pursuing, we have a keto person in the family, a couple keto people, and they would do these giant slabs of cheese, which is all well and good, except not if you're trying to wash the waistline. So, And then we started pursuing like green ones like oat, which is great. I like the idea of oat flour over regular white flour or anything, but that was like having pizza on a cracker. By the time you picked it up, it like broke off. It was too intense. So
yeah.
It's like there's got to be a way to combine some of these things. So I think we came across the answer.
She mastered it. Her cauliflower oat crust pizza is really
That's
good.
right. Cauliflower oat crust pizza. So, and actually Beth is going to share her topping that our family absolutely loves, which isn't tomato and it's not white, but it's
an olive oil garlic pizza sauce.
Yeah, really makes it like a Mediterranean pizza. It's so good. We all love it. So anyway, so we're going to get started. First of all, what you're going to need to do is prepare your cauliflower before you do anything. And you can do this with, right now we're in the fall in upstate New York and cauliflower is like, really all over here. So you can use fresh, but it's a lot easier too. You can use bagged, frozen or you can buy riced cauliflower already done for you. But
that's what I do.
But either way you're going to have to cook it. This does have to call for cooked. So, but if you're going to do it from raw, you're going to want to rice it in like a food processor first and then steam it. And this you would do with your bagged, with your frozen. You're going to steam it. Just throw it in a microwavable bowl. Put a plate on it or something that'll hold the steam in. Put 3 tablespoons of water or so in there and put it in your microwave for about 5, 6, 7 minutes till it's tender. And the thing that we're going to be wanting to do, though, is make sure that you get it good and dry. So when you take it out of your microwave, you're going to want to put it in a towel or cheesecloth or something of that nature, and then wring it until you get out a good
takes a while.
cup of water. You're going to get quite a bit of juice out of there. So another thing you can do too is spread it on a roasting pan or like any type of pan, stick it in the oven at 300 and let it dry out a little that way.
Right.
So, but overall you're going to need 2 cups of it. So now we're going to preheat the oven to 400. I'll let you do that while I get started over here. And because it's an oat crust pizza, you can use oatmeal, rolled oats, quick oats, or you can buy oat flour already ground, which is easier. But I'm going to go ahead and do this because most people have oats hanging around their house anyway. And you're going to want to turn it into flour. So you're going to take 2 cups, throw it in the food processor. Pulse it or grind it. Until it's pretty much of a meal, kind of like a meal or a rough kind of flour. You can keep going if you want it finer.
How fine you want it.
Exactly. And obviously oat flour is going to be very fine. It's going to act a lot like regular flour. So, all right. Now in this, it's very easy because you really don't even need a bowl. You're throwing everything in here. You're going to take your cauliflower and put that in. You're going to take 4 eggs. Put that in. Now, this calls for a cup of shredded cheese. I use the skim milk mozzarella just because, again, we're trying to keep it on the leaner side. But this is going to make 2 pizza rounds when you're done. So it's really only half a cup of cheese per pizza.
Would dairy-free cheese work too?
Yes, it should. It's really, it's acting as a binder. So it's really the moisture and stuff that you're looking for. So, all right. Then your seasonings. We've got 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of garlic granules. You can use garlic powder, or you could probably even use minced garlic as long as you drained it well. And then 3 teaspoons of seasoning like oregano, Italian seasoning, basil, or a mix of the 3.
Yum.
So, yeah. And then just get it going again. We want it to come together and really mix to create a dough. It will be a little on the wet side as opposed to a lump of dough like pizza dough that you would work with. But once it's all good and incorporated, let me check and see. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, you're gonna see it looks kind of like almost like a paste in a sense. You know, like a kind of little grainy paste. But that's what we want. Although, you know what I am gonna do is just scrape down the sides here and make sure that mixes in too. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is prepare the pizza stones. Now, you can use pizza stones. You can use baking sheet, like cookie sheet, whatever you do your pizzas on is fine. But one of the things you do want to do is use parchment paper. Now, I didn't start out with this because I thought, oh, why would you need parchment paper? And then I realized, yeah, it can stick, and then you can end up, because of the type of dough it is, you really want to, it just works so much better with parchment paper. But what I do is spray down the stone and wipe it. And what this is going to do is you're going to need this for later because you're actually going to be flipping the crust midway through. And you'll already have pre-oiled your stone. But it also acts as a way to hold your parchment paper down.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, I know. So I want to look at you. So, all right, do you want to do the other one while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
Here you go. All right. Oh, and then also, I'm sorry, excuse me, you do want to also spray your parchment paper when you're done too. So I'm going to grab that too. Sorry. All right. And then also just, cover that right with it. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to pull half of this dough out onto this. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention too, if you don't have a food processor, you can grind the oats with a coffee grinder. We did that for years before we got a decent food processor, where it's small, you can only do so much at a time, but it's better than nothing, and you'll get a really fine flour when you do it too. So I don't know if I've got half there. I'll pull that out and just see. The next, also, when you go to work with this, because it is wet, you're better off to kind of wet your hands first. And just kind of form it into a circle and press it out. Now you can continue to press it with your fingers if you want, but I have found it much easier to place a piece of parchment paper on top and roll it out from here. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah, you can use a regular roller or mini one. A lot of times the ones that the kids get in their cooking toys works really well for something like this too. Confiscate my daughter Haley's cooking supplies all the time. Those little whisks when you need to just whisk something small, and it's like the big one doesn't fit. So anyway, and you can see it rolls out really easy. I mean, it pushes right out, and you can make it as thick as you want, but you know what? It will depend. It will affect the how dense your piece is, how well it cooks, how soft it is when it's done. So I suggest about 1/4 of an inch. Let's see where we're at here.
I love it. It's like a rustic.
It is.
Look.
Yeah, isn't it? It is very cool, and it's hearty, which means you don't need a lot of pizza before you're going to be full. So it really goes a long way. All right. Then carefully peel it back.
Nice.
I think I'll just save this aside because you're probably gonna want
It's a
this
good
one
size too.
I know, it really creates quite a bit. I was really happy with this. Now the thing is that you're also gonna find some spots are thicker than others. Along the edges gets really thin. I like to push it in a little bit and just create almost like that pizza dough.
The ridge.
Ridge, exactly. Yep. So it'll hold the stuff in later, and it just keeps that edge from getting burned or anything in the meantime. So go ahead and go with that one there.
It's okay if I use this same one?
Yep. Yes, definitely. And it smells so good.
Yeah,
I mean, it smells like an
it's
Italian restaurant in here right now. So, okay. See, isn't that pretty? All right. Now we're just gonna be baking these for about 12 minutes. It takes about 25 minutes total. I figure 12 and 12 worked really well because you're gonna want to flip it halfway through. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and get these in the oven, and we'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, so we're at the halfway mark, and so I'm gonna show you what to do with the pizza crust. Okay, and you can see it's starting to dry. You know, it's getting like a harder surface to it. But this is where the parchment really comes in handy. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna carefully flip it over.
Nice.
And peel back your parchment. And now you can see it almost looks like a pre-bought pizza where you're gonna wanna warm it first before you use it. So
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, and we'll be back with you again when we've got them finished baking. Another 12 minutes. Okay, so we've got our crust out of the oven now. It took an extra 3 minutes this time. So, you know, the main thing you're looking for is to get a nice golden crust to it. And as you can tell, I mean, it's pretty dense and thick, but it's not so hard that it's going to act like a cracker, but it will hold your toppings up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this over to you now, because now Beth is going to show us that amazing olive oil garlic sauce that she makes.
Yep.
You ready? Oh,
okay.
Well, you know what? Why don't I move this over there so you can mix your
sure,
stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to putting all this good stuff on. Go for it.
Okay, so on to the olive oil garlic pizza sauce. So I made this recipe in my kitchen one night because we love pizza, but I don't really care for red sauce, marinara sauce on my pizzas. I like
a lot of acid reflux people in the family too.
Right. I just like garlic pizzas, Mediterranean pizzas, but didn't really want all the dairy and everything that comes with that. So I took some olive oil and some spices and mixed it all together, and
it turned out amazing.
Yeah, and now everybody asks me for the recipe, so
it's our favorite one now.
Right.
So anyway.
So, anyway, you're gonna start with 1/4 cup of olive oil.
Oh, and this is for one pizza, right?
Right. This is gonna make enough sauce for one of the pizzas. So we're gonna double it today for ours. But, so this is 1/4 cup of olive oil. And then what you're gonna do is add in 2 tablespoons of garlic. And it probably seems like a lot of garlic, but we really like garlic in our family.
And if everyone's eating garlic at the same time, you all cancel each other out. So
right.
There you go. It's good for you.
Yeah.
It's like onions. Garlic and onions.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is gonna seem like a lot of garlic, but trust me, when it gets on the pizza and it bakes, it really doesn't seem like a lot. But you can adjust how much garlic you put in based on your preferences. But so 2 tablespoons of the garlic. And then we've got 1 teaspoon, of parsley. So we throw that in there. A teaspoon of onion powder.
Gotta get it all in.
Gotta get it all. And a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then at this point, you can just salt and pepper to taste. I usually just put in a dash of both. And then you are going to mix it together.
And that's basically the same that you've done over here for me, right?
Right, yep.
So this is how we've done. That's like, again, what you need for one pizza. In case your kids want the sauce, pepperoni, mozzarella cheese type pizza going, so it's just remember to double it for the two if you want both.
Yeah. So the consistency should be almost looking like pesto. The powders are really going to thicken it up. So it's not going to really even look like just a bunch of olive oil. So that is how you make the garlic sauce. It's really easy. So
I'll give you the other crust in the meantime.
Yeah, and at this point you just thank you.
Oops. There.
So to put it on the pizza, I like using a silicone pastry brush. And instead of just dumping it on the pizza all at once, I just do it a little bit at a time. And just brush it on. And like I said, it's going to look like so much garlic. But
it's though you're right, when it bakes down, it's kind of like when you roast garlic, it always gets that milder, sweeter flavor. It loses all that. It's not as potent as it would have been when it was more raw.
Yeah.
You really want it all. I mean, it's like this really. Yeah, it's great flavor. You can smell it in here. Oh.
We love garlic.
You're right. It really also does look. It looks like pesto, but without all the pine nuts and. I imagine if you did basil as your main green too, you'd be really close to a pesto.
Yeah, I mean you could substitute the parsley for Italian seasoning or basil, or whatever you want. But really, that's all there is to it. You're just gonna add it and brush it onto the pizza, and then top it with whatever ingredients you want.
Yeah, just nice and Okay, so you're ready to put the toppings on. Where do you have a certain way you like to start, or?
Really just with the cheese. I just load it up with a bunch of cheese. If you're dairy free, you could use dairy free cheese.
That's right.
Today I think we have skim milk cheese, mozzarella, right?
Skim milk mozzarella, and I happen to like goat cheese on my pizzas, so I brought some goat cheese.
Yeah, and I have some feta. So.
All right, well there we go. We have a variety of cheese, lots of cheese.
Yeah, so let's.
Okay, so I'm just gonna dig right in with my hands.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Can you ever have too much cheese?
You can't. You really can't.
I know. And this is already a guilt-free enough pizza that, you can kind of load up on a few of the things you really love. And
it's protein.
Exactly. That works. Speaking of protein, I see that you've added an extra protein here that you don't normally put on your pizza.
Yes. Yes, we got some sausage. Because it is going to be
National Sausage Pizza Day in the month of National Pizza Month of October.
Yeah.
October.
So the 11th is
yep.
the National Sausage Pizza Day.
Yeah, so we just thought we had to commemorate it.
Yeah, just get some sausage on there. You could put it on your meat lover's pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And just celebrate all these obscure holidays.
There you go. I know. And there's a lot of them. There's Donut Day.
Yeah.
There's actually, right after Donut Day is National Eat Your Vegetables Day. Did you know that?
Your kids are going to like that one.
So, do you got enough cheese on yours? Do you want any more?
I can finish it off, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these little holidays just make life fun.
They do.
And
it makes it fun to
celebrate
get the kids
with your kids?
Yeah. Oh, we used to do a lot of things where there was cooking involved anyway. Maybe not necessarily on holidays, because back when they were schooling, we didn't have the internet as available as it is now to look all this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But, periodically we did. And we definitely found any opportunity to incorporate food.
Yeah,
Any
exactly.
opportunity.
Right.
So, even in counting and stuff like that. I mean, nothing like getting kids into helping with the measuring. Hey, math.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Double dip and all those different
That's
subjects.
right. Double dip, ice cream day. There's got to be a national ice cream day out there. Anyway, all right, go ahead. So what's next?
So I like. Actually, no.
No.
I do the spinach first. I'm sorry.
Okay, lay that down.
Spinach is nice. I just do it in its leaf form and just throw it on just like this. And I think when I first did that, when you and Ed were over, you guys were like, "That's so cool. It's almost like a French style or something."
Yeah, very rustic. It's actually a lot of Mediterranean over there too. Like I think Greek do it, and
yeah,
yep.
It just looks pretty too. I just like the look of it.
Nice. And it's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy and a good way to get your vegetables in again. You know?
Right, yeah, and feel free to really load it up because everybody knows spinach shrinks down into nothing.
So true. All right.
Good way to sneak some veggies on there for the kids.
Yep. And they don't need to know about the cauliflower and the crust. I mean,
No.
you don't have to tell them.
Exactly.
All
All
right.
right, so we got some spinach, and then at this point you can really add these in any order, but tomatoes are nice just to kind of get a nice layer of those going.
Okay. Are you putting your feta on at the top, at the end?
Yeah.
Is that why that's
yeah.
there? Okay. Because I have not put my goat cheese on yet. Make sure I did it in the right order. Kind of, you know. I'm sure that there's no, I mean, it's anything, any order you want. But.
Yeah. All right, and then we got some mushrooms here.
Okay.
Her son, my husband, hates mushrooms, so this
Sam.
would never
It's Sam.
usually go on our pizza, but he's not here today, so
Right.
load it up.
And then there's Jonah, my youngest. His brother loves mushrooms. So it was always a fight at the birthdays because Jonah always wanted something with mushrooms in it, and Sam would be like, I don't want the mushrooms. And then Sam would want the lima bean dish, and we're all like, blah, with the lima beans. You know, everyone. That's the only time I would make him lima bean stuff is at his birthday. Sorry. It's a texture thing, I think. But anyway.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, oh, Sam. Gotta love him.
Yes.
He's a cutie. All right.
Okay, and then, yeah, we got some olives, which I love some olives on my pizza. So, sprinkle those on there.
Yep. Whoop. That's another thing the boys used to do. I'm sure all of you guys do this. Get the olives on all your fingers and then, you know, go run under the table at Thanksgiving and, pop them all in.
I still do that.
So Jaren got sick on that one time. It was pretty funny.
Oh.
But anyway, too many olives. There is a point where there's too many olives, I guess. But anyway,
Yeah,
Jaren's not going to.
but there's not, you can never have too much
Love you,
garlic.
Jaren.
So.
Yes, no. Garlic is like, oh, yeah, that's the thing. That's.
Yeah, and then
For
so
sure.
at this point, just get a little bit of onion on there.
Yep.
And then this is when you, actually, it's probably a good time to add our sausage
A sausage next? Okay.
for
So-
sausage pizza day.
Okay. Are we going to do both of them with sausage or just one?
We have enough. Why not?
Sure. Oh, yeah, please do. I imagine this could be pepperoni or ground beef or whatever meat you use for a meat lovers type pizza, right?
Yeah, I think meat lovers is bacon,
Oh, yeah.
bacon, ham,
Yeah.
beef, a little bit of
That's
everything.
true. All right. There you go. You got enough on there or did you want more?
I think I'm good.
That's that. Okay.
And then
Now
you
comes the
add
extra
your
cheese.
final delicious ingredient, which is, your
other cheese.
other cheese.
You get more again of the Mediterranean with the feta, but the goat cheese is a little subtle, a little more of a softer cheese.
Yep.
And you really don't need to top this with anything more, right? Because you've got all tons of herbs underneath.
Yeah, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but
I don't think it's necessary.
you can even kind of top it with a little bit of
Salt and pepper anyway.
salt and pepper. Depending on how salty you like your food. I like a lot of salt. There you go.
Thanks. Okay. Then what?
Pop them in the oven. How long would you suggest? Probably
8 minutes about.
Yeah.
Melt the cheese. All right.
Cool.
Well,
Pop
we're gonna
these
do
in
that,
and
and we'll
show
be
you what
back.
they look like.
Okay, so the pizzas are ready. What we did find is that these are kind of loaded up, so we did need a few more minutes. So it was a little more like 10 minutes or so, 10, 11 minutes. And then it's nice to kind of let them sit for about 5 minutes after you've pulled them out of the oven. So
It's beautiful.
here we go. All right.
Let's see it.
And if you notice the shoe, it's holding up really nicely. So here we go. Oh my goodness, this smells.
It's
so
not
good.
too crispy,
Whoops.
you know. Sometimes you can't cut through a pizza; it's
Right.
just so crispy.
Yep.
That's nice.
And it's
as well.
yeah, it holds up to the amount of toppings on here, as you can see. All right. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna use
Beautiful.
All right. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've been anxious waiting for this moment.
I know.
Oh, it smells so good if you could smell what it's like in here. Mm.
Yeah, held
Okay.
up so nice.
Yeah, you can see it picks up like a normal piece of pizza.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. That's good stuff. Wow.
It's got that garlic.
Mm. Yeah, and it's, you know what, it is a denser crust, so it really doesn't take much to fill you up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice. You don't feel like you got to go through 5 pieces, you know, 1 or 2. So
Wow.
amazing. Well, thank you so much. And I know what we're doing on the 11th, as well as several more times during the month. So,
thanks for watching, guys.
yep. We're going to actually have an article on our website in our blog section on not just National Pizza Month, but on the history of pizza too, right? Yep, in general. So if you click the link below, it'll take you there, and we'll have the pizza crust recipe there, and I'm sure even and the topping recipe as well, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna have
the garlic sauce.
there. Yep. So
like this video and subscribe and share with your friends.
Yep. And in the meantime, ignite a love and learning with your kids through hands-on and through their taste buds. Yep. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys. Bye.